Hello there guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Sal speaking. Today I'm gonna talk about Sicilian staff fighting. This is something really interesting. I am from Sicily myself and this is part of my history. So today I would like to share with you something about my history and my culture as well. Known as Paranza Lunga, it started at around 13th century AD as a self-defense method for shepherds or pastors who were defending their flocks and cattle against wild animals such as wolves, who were really common in Sicily back in the days. The Sicilian staff was the weapon of the poor who unfortunately couldn't afford to buy swords. So the staff I'm actually holding now, this is a Sicilian staff and it comes from wild orange tree and is straightened up by the use of fire. Many people say that the Sicilian staff fighting developed into the Liu-bo or something like that. This is not like a Japanese martial art. We don't salute like the Japanese in any way because we are from Sicily, we are Sicilians, and therefore we tend to salute our enemy like this. We just do like a small movement with our head, and then we get into position. Look, first of all, you need to know that I am not a master, but I know a little bit of this stuff, and a friend of mine has taught me some stuff. So everything you see me do, don't judge me. I'm not a master, I'm not an expert, I'm not like a professional, okay? So you need to stand straight and you need to relax your shoulders. Something important about Sicilian staff fighting is that the blows come from the bottom part. They don't come from the up part, although there are some blows that you do like this against your enemy. So what you need to do, you need to stand straight, relax your shoulders, and then you need to open your leg. Something important is that you need to keep both hands together, never like this. I tend to do like this, I don't know why. So you need to just put both hands together, and you need to pretend that you are using one hand only. So the second hand is just a support to the first hand, it's not the main hand to be used. So this is the movement you do. You need to be very relaxed. So you need to open your guard like this. So you need to put your legs like this, open, and then you need to just like this one has to be a little bit bent, and then like the hands together, and you need to be very relaxed. Okay, I'll try to be as relaxed as I can, and this is the movement. All the time. This is not like a still style. You don't have to stand still all the time. You have to move continually. Comes natural to all of us to block a blow, like so, to do like this with a stick and block a blow. So there are blocks in this martial arts. the blows start from the bottom to the top, because we want to reach also the chin. If we hit the chin, it is easier for us to achieve a KO. Our opponent will be down. This is a continual movement, so we're fighting against an opponent, but we're also fighting against dogs at the same time. So we have to, if we want to defend ourselves from the opponent, we must also defend ourselves from anybody, even dogs, animals, you know, creatures. We're just moving, we have to move continually, we just can't stop all the time. This is how we salute. Initially, there was not established technique, but eventually the movement of the staff resembled the movement of a sword. In this case, we have three staffs here. The first one, this one, the length of this one is 120 centimeters, or in other words, 1 meter and 20 centimeters. This one is made out of wild orange tree, and even the one next to it, which is smaller, and we can see that the pommel here, there's something like, there's similar to a pommel that was handmade. So we have wild orange tree, this one is wild orange tree, but that one is olive tree, and we can see the difference in colors. Also, it is important to notice that these parts here, these kind of bumps that kind of comes out from the actual stick, are very important. As we find lots of these, we can understand that the tree or the branch, and in this case the staff, is very strong. So these kind of staffs are made to last for a long time. These are sticks that last. By the 17th century AD, several different types of schools started to emerge. Some of these schools survive to this day, such as Cavalleresca, Ruotata, but in the Catania area, it was very common the Ruotata style. The Ruotata style, in the Ruotata style, they were using a longer stick, or in other words, a longer staff. Battuta, Fiorata. In the eastern part of Sicily, the Fiorata style was very common. Fiorata comes from fioretto, or in other words, foil, the modern foil. So they were actually using a smaller, a shorter type of stick. And Giocata. Giocata is the only style that used only one hand. All the other styles are using both hands. Oftentimes, poor people would trespass a noble property, and that's when a fight would start. The noblemen and the poor men would get into dueling, where the noble ones would release their dogs. So the pastors learned several techniques that enabled them to face multiple attacks from dogs and from people at the same time. And the poor shepherds were really prepared to face any situation. Rotating and fluid movements were of vital importance for the shepherds in order to defend themselves against multiple attacks. So, talking about the stick, talking about the staff here, it is very resistant, it is very hard, it is very strong, but it is light. It is very light at the same time. Why is it light? Well, it is simple to say. It is light to facilitate the rotation movements and to hit your opponent in an easier and faster way, especially in a more effective way as well. A heavier staff wouldn't facilitate the rotation, as the wrist would be easily jeopardized. This one we're talking about Paranza Lunga, or in other words, Paranza long Paranza, so long sticks, long staffs. But in Sicily we do have also the Paranza Corta, or in other words, we have knives. During the Sicilian Vespers, which in Italian is called Vesperi Siciliani, and in Sicilian is Vesperi Siciliani, is the name given to a successful rebellion on the island of Sicily that broke out at Easter 1282 against the rule of the French-born King Charles I, who had ruled the Kingdom of Sicily since 1266. Within 6 weeks, 3,000 French men and women were slain by the rebels, and the government of King Charles lost control of the island. it was the beginning of the War of the Sicilian Vespers. I would like to thank my friend Alessandro for giving me the chance to be here today and to use his sticks. These sticks, this stuff here is handmade, as also as this one. This is handmade as well. These are very unique because they're handmade, and it seems like that every practitioner makes his own stick. It takes a long time to make it, and these are very, very nice and valuable as well. So you go there, you pick your branch, and you turn your branch into a stick or a staff. Totally handmade. It takes a long time to make. It takes patience, hard work, and some of these staffs are also like carved. Not these ones as much, but he's got other ones, and he worked. So you can make some artistic works. You can turn your sticks into a masterpiece, really, and you can keep it in your home to defend yourself and your families. This is no joke. This is a really effective martial art. Every person can personalize his own staff. Every person can customize his personal staff, and so can you. As an eminent master of Sicilian fighting staff, we have Vito Presti, who was a poet, a pastor, and a sculptor as well. The Sicilian staff fighting spread over the whole island. Garibaldi, knowing about this style, selected the most eminent masters of this martial art in Sicily and called them to fight to battle. Even the aristocratic people were really interested about Sicilian staff fighting because they had to fight against the poor shepherds who were oftentimes dueling. Sicilian staff fighting does not belong only to Sicily, but to the whole world. This is a really effective martial art, and this is something really amazing, you know. Especially in the Sicilian Vespers, we fought against the French people who were, you know, enslaving us, and so you can imagine like Sicilian people being all together fighting against these French people who wanted to kill us, who wanted to make us slaves, you know. So I'm really proud of my ancestors. I'm really proud of being Sicilian. I'm really proud of this martial art, which is probably one of the most effective, you know, stick martial arts, in my opinion. I reckon this is one of the most effective martial arts, so to speak. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, if you feel sad, you better call Sal. Bye!